Good morning. I have a little friend with me today. He's probably going to jump down, but he was crying and it was very irritating, so I picked him up. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about custom orders because I was greeted by Facebook telling me that 10 years ago in my beautiful Facebook memory, I posted something about having a $100 custom order for any type of cake. Minimum $100. So if somebody called me and said, I need a 4-inch smash cake for my baby's birthday, and I want it to be iced plain with no color on it, I would say that's $100. Okay. And I think that people were a little upset with this, but guess what? It made sure that I made enough profit to continue doing cakes in general and not waste my time on small orders that would earn me $3 an hour. And it screened a lot of irritating people out who just wanted something fancy, but they didn't appreciate the time and effort that went into it, so they didn't want to pay me. So it got me thinking about custom orders on Etsy, and a lot of designers do custom orders for graphics and invitations and logos and that kind of thing. My suggestions, if you are someone online who does any kind of custom work, is, well, I have a few suggestions. Okay, so the first one is have a minimum order value, and say, this is what I charge for the basic package. And you could do packages. That's another thing. I could talk about that. But have a minimum so that people know this is the minimum you're going to be spending if you work with me. Okay. And that's for like just bare bones. That's it. You have to figure out what your minimum would be. But having a minimum there gets rid of a lot of people who are just going to annoy you. All right. The second thing I would suggest is to have a design fee and a fee for the final product. So you have one fee that covers certain things, you designing it like maybe one conversation with them when you get everything they want. And you know what? I would fill out, this is another suggestion, I would make a form with all the questions you need to ask the person, send it to them, have them fill it out. You look at it. If you have questions, you contact them. But otherwise, that's what you're working on. So that way you have everything in writing. They can't say, I didn't say I wanted that, because you're like, oh, here's your form. You filled it out. Okay. Have that form. And that, number one, will cut down on a lot of time for you on going back and forth with them. It'll have them fill that out and they know you know exactly what they want. They have to put it down. And that is the beginning stage. All right. So then maybe you have an agreement, and this is something else. I would say I will do 2-3 designs for you. I don't know. Have that included in your basic price. And then anything beyond that, if they say, I want to change this one little detail, I want to change this, and then they keep coming back at you with changes and more changes and more changes. If you say after one revision, you pay an extra $20 for that next revision, people make their minds up pretty quickly if they know they're going to have to pay for extras. Okay, so put in your contract, and I would have an agreement. This just gets so complicated. I would have a design fee with a contract that they fill out the form and sign it and say, I understand that for this price, I'm getting 2 design options, 1 revision, and beyond that, any kind of extra revisions are going to cost X amount every single time. You need to have all this in writing so that people will not take advantage of you. And there are so many stories of people who say, I just got hooked in by this person. She's been back and forth with me for 3 months. She wants constant changes. And they're paying her like $50. It's ridiculous. So don't be that person. Set yourself up so that you protect yourself and you have just a certain minimum for what you're charging, and have that be the design fee. Once they agree on the final thing that they're buying, whether it's a logo or an invitation or whatever it is, then they buy the piece. Okay, so the design fee only covers the design work because you need to be paid for your time. The final price includes the thing. And for that, they probably should, you can decide whether they can retain the copyright or not for that, because that's up to you. You're the artist. I personally, depending on what it is, if it's artwork, then you should retain the copyright so that you can sell it again. Okay. And that way you can sell prints of whatever it is or whatever your situation is, or you could use that in more designs. But if they want to pay for the copyright, maybe that's an additional fee. That's up to you. But I really, really, really suggest that if you do custom work, you figure out a system beforehand that works for you. And if people don't want to work with your system, they can go find someone else to work with, because you should never change your system slash contract slash agreement, whatever you want to phrase it, however you want to phrase it. You should never change that for a customer, because you need to set it up the way that you want it to work for you, so that you get paid and you make enough money to pay for your bills. You know, it's hard if it's a digital thing and it's a design thing, because you're thinking to yourself, well, it's just, you know, it's not a physical product. No, it is a product and you need to be paid for it. Don't sell yourself short. But make sure that you have all this stuff in place before you even go into talking to people. And honestly, if you're thinking, oh, this is too much work, I don't want to set up an agreement, I don't want to do this, then don't do custom. There's no reason that says you have to do custom work for anyone. And if you're not willing to put the time into protecting yourself, then maybe you shouldn't, because you're going to get taken advantage of down the road. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. All right. So think about it. If you have questions or anything, I would be glad to answer them. I had an ironclad contract that I had written by an attorney in my state so that everything was legal. I had so many eventualities in this contract when I did wedding cakes. I had everything covered. So I'm very willing to answer questions. If you want to actually have a contract written up, I would have an attorney do it who is local to you, so that they are aware of all the laws in your area, because it does change. The laws vary by region. And that's the kind of thing that you would have to talk to an attorney about. But if you want to just write up an agreement for yourself and the customer, that's fine too. I like contracts, because if someone signs that, it makes them realize that you mean business, that you're taking this seriously. And a contract does that. If you give someone a contract, then they're like, oh, wait, this is real. And if you just have a verbal agreement, that means nothing. Verbal agreements are useless. Okay, so anyway. Leave me any questions, give this video a thumbs up, and go write yourself an agreement for people, because don't let them take advantage of you. Okay, I will talk to you later.